everyone, God bless. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. So today we did a affordable / drugstore look. A lot of things that I use were pretty affordable. Most of it you can find at Walgreens or Target. And yeah, this is what I came up with. I hope you guys liked the video. If you want to see how I got this, make sure you keep on watching and show me some love. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff for me, please. And yeah, let's just get started. Alright, so let's get started. So to start off with moisturizer, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream. It's just a moisturizer. It's not the one I usually use. The one I usually use is from e.l.f. too, but I ran out of my Hello Hydration Cream, which is my favorite. And I have not been out the house, so this one's fine. So I think I have pretty much everything drugstore except for my eyebrow gel, because I love the Benefit 24-hour brow setter and I don't really have anything else that I can use that I like. So that's pretty much the only thing that is not drugstore, but I'm sure you can find a drugstore one. So for primer, my favorite one is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I don't know how to say that P-U-T-T-I word, but this is my favorite primer, one of my favorites. Drugstore or high-end, so this is no problem. So for foundation, my favorite drugstore foundation is the NYX Born to Glow. I use it in the shade beige, and this is a really good foundation. I think it's a dupe for the Fenty hydrating one or the Anastasia hydrating one. The luminous one, I guess that's what it's called. But it's very, very good and I highly recommend it if you have dry skin like I do. So I'm just going to put some of it on my face. I've been liking a little bit less foundation lately. I think it just looks better on my skin. And I've actually been using a brush. I usually use a sponge, but I've been really liking this brush, and it's not drugstore, but I love this brush. It's a Sephora Pro Airbrush Foundation brush, number 55. I'm just gonna blend that all into my skin. I'm not forgetting the ears and the neck. So then after it's all blended out with brush, I like to go back in with a sponge and just tap it in. It'll help pick up all the excess product that is sitting on your skin. And just make sure there's no lines or anything like that. Even though that brush is pretty good with not leaving any streak lines or anything like that. But just to be safe, I always like to go in over it with a sponge. So now for cream contour, I have been loving the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Chestnut. This is the regular matte one, I guess, not the hydrating one. And I really like this color and the formula of it. It's really nice to contour with. And I just use this foundation brush to blend it out, making sure I'm blending it into my hairline. Also, can I just say, e.l.f. has been really stepping up their game when it comes to their makeup products and skincare products, actually. They are really doing that. I saw that they just came out with the primer, the eyelid primer. I have not tried it yet. I do love that they have them. I cannot talk. I do love that they have them in different colors. I think they have a black one, a pink one, and regular like skin tone shades, which is really nice. Alright, so that's all nice and blended out. So to conceal, I'm going to use the same concealer, just in the shade Medium Peach. The only thing about this concealer, which doesn't happen with the hydrating one, I just lost mine, is that you can't really let it sit for a long time. I usually like to let my concealer sit, but if you let this one sit, it'll stay there. It won't move, which is a 16-hour concealer, which makes sense, and it's matte. So it doesn't really bother me that much. I just can't let it sit. So I like to do one eye at a time. So I was actually planning on using my Fit Me loose powder, but it's very dark. I don't know why it's so dark. I don't know why I have this shade. I can't use that because it'll ruin my whole face. But I do have the Wet n Wild contouring palette, which has a highlighting shade. I've never used it actually. I love the contouring side of it, which is what I'm going to use. But I've never used the powder, the highlighter, because I just usually use loose powder. But I guess we can give that a try. And I'm just going to go in with the sponge. I usually set with my sponge, so I'm just going to do the same thing. And even with setting powder, with translucent loose powder, I don't bake. I just use my sponge to tap on the product and just make sure it's all set. But I don't like to let powder sit because it makes my skin look very dry. I only really do baking on my oily clients. So I'm just going to go with some setting spray, and I'm using the Makeup Obsession Dewy Fix Fixing Spray, and I got this at Target. I'm just going to spray my face with that. So once that's completely dry and into my skin, I'm going to go in and bronze, and for that I'm going to use the Wet n Wild once again. And I'm going to use this Morphe X Jaclyn Hill brush. So for blush, one of my favorite blushes of all time is Milani Luminoso, which I have right here. But recently I've been liking a little bit more intense blushes, and I found this Morphe blush palette. It is the 8W palette, and this is what it looks like. And I love the shade, and recently I've been mixing this one and this one, and it's the most beautiful blush ever. So that's what I'm going to be using today, but I know not everybody has access to Morphe in stores, so Luminoso is also a very good one that I love. I'm kind of missing all the blushes in that palette. I like to blend it back to my temple in the same motion that I do my bronzer. Put a little bit on my nose just to blend everything together. Alright, so that's done. So recently I haven't been loving the highlighter right here. I haven't been doing it at all. But what I do like to do is take a little brush like this one. This is a Morphe Y20 and the Master Chrome highlighter by Maybelline in the shade Molten Gold. And I do like to highlight my nose and my Cupid's bow. And once I have my shadow done, depending on what I decide to do, I like to highlight my inner corner. So for eyeshadow, I think I'm going to do something a little bit darker. And for that, I'm going to use this Makeup Obsession Throw Shade palette and the Juvias Place Warrior palette. mine is broken, so I can't show you the inside of it. So to get started, I'm going to use the shade Fire from the Makeup Obsession palette, and that's going to be my transition shade. I'm just adding it to my lower lash line. Alright, then I'm going to go in with the shade Queen, which is a darker brown from that same palette. And I'm doing the same thing I just did with that other shade, just a little bit lower, and also adding it to my outer corner. Alright, and then I'm going to take the color Power, and I'm mostly concentrating that in my outer corner, also adding it a little bit into the crease. Again, lower than the other one. I don't want a lot of this color because it is very dark, and I don't want it to overpower the other colors. Also adding it to my lower lash line. Alright, so for the lid, I'm going to use the color from the Juvias Place palette, and the name of it is, I don't know, Benin? B-E-N-I-N. It's a dark shimmery brown. Can't show it to you guys again because it's super cracked and it will get everywhere. But I'm just going to take it and pack it on my lid. So I'm actually just going to wet my brush with that Makeup Obsession setting spray, because I want it to look a little bit more intense. Alright, so that's what we're looking like. I love how it's turning out. And just to line my to line my eyelids a little bit, I'm going to use the darkest brown in that Juvias Place palette. It's such ashier brown, which I like. And I'm just going to do a simple liner. I'm not doing a wing or anything like that. Just lining it to add a little bit more depth and to help blend in the lash into my lash line. So now we're going to do lashes, and I don't have, the only drugstore lashes that I have are the Ardell Demi Wispies, which are cute, but they're very natural. That's not what I want. I don't really ever wear those. I kind of have them for my clients because that's what they like mostly. So I'm going to use my Saucies from Batty B. These are my favorite right now. They're not drugstore, they're like $20, which isn't very affordable. But I don't have anything else, so I'm just going to use these. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the eyes. So now for my eyebrows, I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. And I don't really do anything crazy with my eyebrows. I have quarantine eyebrows right now, they're just bad. But I'm just going to speed this part up because it takes me forever. And then, like I said, I'm going to set them with my Benefit 24-hour brow setter because this is what I have, this is what I like. So that's what I'm going to use. Alright, so I'm back. Eyebrows are done. So for my lips, I'm going to go ahead and line them with my Colourpop BFF2 lip liner. And I like to overline them a little bit. And then I'm going to top that off with my Morphe lip gloss in Freebird. This has been my go-to combo lately. So I'm going to do that. what I came up with. This is the finished look, our 2020 drugstore quarantine glam. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked the video. Everything that I used was pretty affordable, so you know, you don't always have to spend the most money to get a good result. I feel like right now especially, a lot of the drugstore brands are really stepping up their game, and they're really coming out with really good products that sometimes even beat the more higher end products. So you know, I don't want you to think that you have to spend all this money to have a good result, because I think I look pretty good, if I do say so myself. And everything was, or most of the things were pretty affordable, and most of the things you could find at Target, Walgreens, Ulta. So yeah, hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Let me know if there's any products from the drugstore that are part of your routine. I would love to try some new things. And yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, show me some love, follow me on social media. Make sure you stay healthy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.